Hello, it's Rachel. Today's project is going to be a mini book using a sizzix die called Pocket. This is quite an old one, I'm not sure if it's still available, but I've cut out 5 of the pocket shapes and I'm going to colour them with 3 different colours of Glimmer Mist spray. Once the pockets have dried, I want to warm them up a little bit, so I've chosen some Distress ink in fossilised amber and I'm applying this to each of the pockets using a piece of Ranger cut and dry foam. This is also going to give them a more distressed and vintage appearance. When I finish this, I'm going to add some stamping to them, and for that I've chosen a stamp by Carabelle Studios and I'm stamping it using archival ink in Hydrangea. When all the stamping is complete, I go around the edges of each of the pockets using the same Hydrangea ink and Ranger cut and dry foam. And once I've done this, I glue them all together just using a regular glue stick. For the inside of my pockets, which will form the pages of my mini book, I've chosen to cut some ticket shapes. I'm using a Tonic Studios punch here for the corners of the tickets, and then I'm going to colour them in the same way that I coloured the pockets. Next, I'm preparing some paper for the covers, and this is a technique I have shown on my channel before but not for a long time. I'm using a piece of copier paper and saturating it with a combination both of water and the same Glimmer Mist sprays that I used at the start of the project. Then you scrunch up the paper and very carefully unfold it, and it gives you a nice textured piece where the mica catches in all the folds. And when this has dried, I take a craft iron, which has no steam, and iron it flat for easy application to my covers. Here I've used my Brother Label Maker to print out some text. These are going to be words that are applied to each of the tickets that I've coloured that go on the inside of the pockets, and I'm colouring them here using some archival ink in the same hydrangea colour. Before I applied this ink, I did add a coat of golden matte medium, and that is so that the glossy surface will take colour more easily. Here I'm using a Stampin Up stamp with a linen texture. I'm stamping this with the archival ink in hydrangea, and then I'm going to apply my text pieces to each of the tickets. Once I've done this and I've got the text in place, I add some further stamping to embellish each of the tickets. This is a Posca paint pen in white, and I'm going to use this to add some highlights to the tickets. So I'm using tiny little dots around both the text and the border. Now I'm going to apply some metal tabs to each of the tickets, and these are going to act as a pull mechanism to take them out of the pocket. These are by Seven Gypsies, and I've had them in my stash for several years now, so I'm not sure if they're still available, but they're nice little additions that I wanted to add. When I've finished decorating the tickets and pockets, I'm turning my attention back to the covers. These are being stamped in pretty much the same way as the tickets, and the title I've chosen for my book is Keep Life Simple. To bind my book together, I'm using some book rings. I've punched some holes using my crocodile tool before threading the pages onto these. After I've finished this, I choose some fibres from my stash to decorate the sides of the book and embellish it further. At this point, I wanted to add something else to the cover of the book. I felt it was a little bit plain and needed some more dimension, so I looked in my stash and found this metal key, and I'm applying this to the project using some Ranger glossy accents. Once this is dried, I go over the key to give it a more brushed metal finish rather than a shiny metal finish, and for this I'm using some Treasure Gold in the colour White Fire. I also add some of this to the creases in the book cover paper, and it adds a highlight to different areas of both the front and back covers. That was the last part of today's project. I hope you enjoyed it. A question I often get asked about projects like this is what is their purpose or what you do with them. Obviously something like this you can give as a gift. The words that you choose inside can be personalised, or you can keep it as something for yourself. It's just another way to create art, have fun, and at the end of it you've got something that has both visual and tactile appeal. If you did enjoy today's project and you'd like further details on the products used, remember there is always a link to those in the video description. There is also details of my Mixed Media Challenge group and my other social media sites.